The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says Ford is recalling more than 116,000 vehicles due to a potential fire risk linked to the engine block heater. The device, which helps warm the engine before starting in freezing temperatures, may crack and leak coolant if drivers use it by plugging it into an external power source. Now, the recall applies to certain 2013 to 2018 Focus, 13 to 19 Escape, and 2015 and 16 MKC models equipped with a 2-liter engine. Well, Procter Gamble earnings topped estimates, but shrinking demand weighed on sales. Specifically, the consumer giant reported declining demand for razors and diapers. The company did raise prices, which helped with its overall profit. SpaceX could be going public soon. The Wall Street Journal reports SpaceX is expected to select banks to lead the stock offering. CEO Elon Musk has told people he wants to complete the IPO by July. The SpaceX IPO is expected to be one of the largest ever, perhaps worth $1.5 trillion. And Southwest Airlines ranked first in the Wall Street Journal's 2025 Airline scorecard, marking its first win since 2020 and ending Delta's 4-year streak at the top. The Journal said the budget carrier Allegiant came in second, followed by Delta. In the ratings basement, American and Frontier, which tied for last place. This Wall Street Journal ranking looked at delays, lost luggage, cancellations, tarmac delays, and voluntary bumpings, among other things. Amazon is rolling out an artificial intelligence healthcare tool for One Medical members called Health AI. The service uses large language models and references patients' medical records to answer questions, manage medications, and book appointments. It comes after OpenAI and Anthropic launched AI healthcare features earlier this month. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said the rapid expansion of AI is setting up what he described as the largest infrastructure build-out in human history. In an interview with Fox Business, he said the build-out will span data centers, chip factories, and so-called AI factories, adding that this shift is still in its early stages. Nvidia submitted itself as a leading AI chip provider and was the first publicly traded company to reach a $5 trillion market value. GameStop is closing 470 stores. By the end of the month, stores across 43 states will close. States with significant closures include Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, New York, and California. The closures come after 590 nationwide store shutdowns during the previous fiscal year. So GameStop has shuttered more than 1,000 locations in about 2 years. And AI-powered pool cleaners and lawnmowers are here. Mova, a global innovator in smart outdoor robotics, is the company behind the smart connected tools. The LiDAR and AI-powered robotic lawnmowers with full 360-degree horizontal view include all-wheel drives and also models with smart obstacle avoidance that use AI to map terrain. The pool cleaning robots include the Diver A10, which will launch globally on February 11th at $799, and the Rover X10 is set for a March release at about $3,000. U.S. natural gas prices surged by more than 40% in just 2 days, driven by an Arctic cold front descending on the eastern U.S. and resulting in a spike in heating demand. The cold snap is also gripping Asia and Europe, increasing global gas demand and tightening supplies. Natural gas is a main supplier of heat, which will be in big demand this weekend if forecasts are accurate. Sales of antibiotics for farm animals spiked in 2024. While the reason for the jump of 16% is unclear, it is raising concerns about antibiotic resistance. Industry groups and the FDA say the data does not provide information on drug use, only sales. Even so, a surge across industries is significant. It can mean that companies are backtracking on efforts to improve antibiotic stewardship, even though antibiotic resistance remains a public health threat. And Chinese electric vehicles are dominating globally. BYD is leading a pack of Chinese automakers whose global export onslaught has surpassed even the most optimistic expectations. The automakers delivered more than 1 million vehicles outside of China last year, more than double the previous year. And while China is making strides in EV sales in Europe, they are not allowed to be sold in the U.S. Joe's Crab Shack has closed many of its restaurants. The company was founded in Houston in 1991. It had operated nearly 140 restaurants throughout the U.S. at its height in 2014, according to FSR magazine. but locations have steadily declined over the past decade. Seafood chain restaurants in general have been facing slowed foot traffic in recent years, dropping by 1% between 2023 and 2024, according to the market research firm Circana. The U.S. officially eliminated measles in the year 2000, but that designation may be at risk. There were more than 2,200 cases of measles last year, about half as many as there were in the previous 25 years combined. Public health experts believe the federal policy changes have undermined vaccine access and public messaging, leading to the spread of vaccine-preventable diseases. Well, meantime, a study finds heart disease and stroke are behind a quarter of all deaths in the U.S. Now, deaths from both causes are down, but they still eclipse all other causes, according to new statistics. The American Heart Association says despite gains in treatment, cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death in the U.S., accounting for nearly 3 in 10 fatalities. The Department of Health and Human Services is launching a study on whether radiation from cell phones could harm Americans' health. The FDA removed web pages with old conclusions about cell phone radiation while they undertake a new study. Now, they're looking to close some gaps in knowledge, including on new technology to ensure safety and efficacy. The report urges officials to address electromagnetic radiation exposure stemming from widespread use of cell phones, Wi-Fi routers, cell towers, and wearables such as smartwatches. From the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Here's to your health.